Hi guys, just want to show you for those that are interested in the build that I'm currently running on my Sorc. So at the moment I'm running 2 light pieces of the Warlock, one heavy chest of white strakes, which gives you the maximum health trait, the spell resistance, the 124 health recovery, and the fifth item there is the damage shield when I get below 30%. I'm running, I've got a few different types of headpieces, but at the moment I'm running the blood spawn, which gives you the stamina, and it also gives you a 6% chance when hit to gain 6,000 armor and spell resistance shields for 6 seconds, and it also restores 15 ultimate and has a cooldown of 6 seconds. So this is a medium piece, and then heavy piece. So we've got 2 light pieces, 1 heavy, 2 light, 4 heavy, and 1 medium piece. And the reason why I run the light and medium pieces is for the Undaunted passive, so I'll show you that real quick. So if you go into your skills and you go down to Undaunted Metal, so it increases your maximum health, stamina and magicka by 2% per armor, per type of armor, so heavy, medium and light that you have equipped. So you can see there the current bonus is 6%, so I get for wearing those different types of armor set, I get a bonus to all of those stats of a total bonus of 6%. So if we go back now to the invent, and I always run a heavy chest piece because it's the biggest piece. You're going to get more armor out of it. So if you can see there, it's a heavy chest piece. The armor is quite high, so that's the reason why I run armor. The head piece I should also run heavy armor because it's a bigger part, and also is the legs. However, the Undaunted dropped a medium armor, so I'm just rolling with that for the time being. Hopefully get a heavy head piece at some stage. But that's it. So if you look at the Warlock as well, just go over the Warlock. So for the ring set, I've got the 3 Warlock pieces. So I've got the 5-piece Warlock, always on. So the belt, the shoes, a light armor, and then the 2 rings, and then the focus of the Warlock piece. Now I've changed the glyph on these from magicka regen to reduced costs of spells. Okay, so all my pieces have reduced costs of spells. So these 2 rings have reduced cost, and the neck piece also has reduced cost. Now the reason why I've done this is because if you can reduce the cost to cast something, then it's much better than actually trying to regain that through magicka regen. Because if a spell costs you nothing to cast, then you can cast it all day. It doesn't really matter how much magicka you have. So yeah, so that's why I've gone with that. So with the Warlock set, it's the adds 115 magicka recovery, adds 866 maximum magicka, and 115 maximum magicka recovery, and then the magicka flood once per minute when you get below 33. So very similar to the white strake set. Once you get below 30%, it pops off and gives me 7,000 magicka back. I also run a disguise. So this is what I normally look like without the disguise, and with the disguise, let's pop it back on. This is what I look like with the disguise. I run a disguise basically to kind of not allow people straight away to tell what type of race I am. If you can tell what type of race someone is straight off the bat, then you have a slight advantage over them if you know what spells they're going to typically cast, etc. However, if you've got a disguise on, they can't really tell exactly what you are. chances are you might have a slight advantage. So that's kind of why I do it. The better disguise to run would probably be the skeleton set. I don't know if we want to start running something like that. I haven't really seen all the skellies getting around lately, so maybe we should look into something like that more as a guild. But then it's obviously getting people to want to use it as well. Alright, so just white streaks on my staff. Now, as you can see at the moment, the white streaks 5th trait is actually greyed out. Okay. The reason is there because this is not. The reason is because I'm going to actually lose something, but I gain these 2 stats here on the Bloodspawn set. So when I'm running Resto, I'll lose my damage shield if I fall below 30%. However, on the head and shoulder piece, I get a 6% chance when hit to have 6,000 armor anyway, and end spell resist. All right, and that goes for 6 seconds. And I can also restore ultimate, so it's good at building ultimate as well when I get hit with this. So this, the reason why you can basically get good traits like this either on your weapons or on these types of arm and dungeon sets. The reason why I've gone for the head and shoulder piece is because when I change my like weapon swap, okay, and I swap across to the sword and board, I get the white streaks 5th trait back. Okay, so I have that armor set, plus I also get the added benefit of the extra ultimate and all the stats and stuff on this 2 armor pieces here, the Bloodspawn set. So you can actually, if we have a look at my other Dominion sword here, get the same similar sort of stats on your sword and board. But I've decided to run with the head set and shoulders because these are always on. When if I run the Dominion set and I swap to my Resto staff, then I will actually lose the 2nd item and the 3rd item there on the Dominion sword. So I actually lose my 120 stamina, and I also lose the reduced ultimate cost of 10% when I'm running my sword and board. So definitely I don't think the sword and board is worth it over these 2 armor sets if you can get them. Now the other thing too is, I'll show you real quick, I've got a few different armor sets as well. So what I can do is I can swap out these headpiece. One that I use for PvE is the Engine Guardian, which is this one here. So that allows me to adds 115 magic recovery, and also gives me a 10% chance to summon a Dwemer automation to restore 1,000 health, stamina or magicka every 0.5 seconds for 6 seconds. So essentially, 7,000 health, stamina or magicka. So you can run that. That's pretty good for regen. You probably see a lot of people in PvP run it. The reason I don't run this in PvP as much is one of my Sorcs, I'm kind of always bolting away. So if I'm bolting away and then the little robot comes out to give me some health, I've already gone out of range, so it's kind of a waste there. But also, if you look at this is a light heavy headpiece, and a light medium shoulder piece, which the shoulder piece is actually pretty good, but it's got a really bad Divine's trait on it, which is not very helpful, and also a well fitted one, which is also reduced cost of sprinting by 9%, which is not very helpful in PvP. But in PvE it's not too bad to have that. If we take a look at the skills that I run on my Sorc, we'll start off with the Mage's Wrath. So on my Resto bar, my healing bar, I have the Mage's Wrath, the Crystal Fragments. Then I run the Healing Ward, so this is really good if you want to pop it on an ally to stop them from being killed. It's also really good on yourself as well, plus it'll give you healing. I use the ball of lightning on both bars. Okay, I use this because if I have to weapon swap to bolt away, there's a good chance that I might die. So I keep that on both bars. Then I've got the Harness Magicka, which gives you a bonus for every light bit of armor that you run, which at the moment for me, given that I've got the Undaunted passive plus pretty much all heavy armor, is only 12% current bonus. If we go across the ultimates that I run, is the Greater Storm Atronach. It's great because when you drop it down, it does a stun. Okay, so it does a stun of enemies. Plus, it also becomes a meat shield, so people will start to hit it and attack it. So this is really good. If you're getting attacked by a couple of people, you can drop this down, and then you kind of just dance around the Atronach, and they'll pretty much hit the Atronach quite a few times. And some people even just hit the Atronach anyway to try and kill it, because it actually does a fair bit of damage. So at the end, it does damage as well. So for me, this is probably the best ultimate at the moment for the Sorc. Now I have used Ice Comet and the other ones. I just find that they're not effective enough. Everyone uses them, so I just block through them. I just tank them like a boss. They don't even bother me. I actually prefer to get hit by them. If we flick across to my other bar, this is my attacking bar. So I've got the tripods, so I always pump those. We've got the Mage's Wrath, okay, we've got the Crystal Frags, and we've got the Malicious Curse. So Malicious Curse I use all the time. I put that on, and what I do is I count to 3. As I'm counting to 3, I will use the Mage's Wrath on people, and then hopefully by this stage the Crystal Frags is procced, and I'll pump that on them. If you get this combo right, you'll pretty much be able to kill anyone. I don't really focus so much on crit damage or attacking damage, because my combos will actually do a pretty good job. If I can time these correctly, then it's pretty much game over for anyone coming close. So Ball of Lightning, as I mentioned, both bars, bang, bang. There's no way for me to make a mistake. There's no way for lag to get me. I can bolt escape away. I don't have to wait for anything. Now I've got Hardened Ward is my other damage shield. I've got it on here. So what happens if I'm out attacking, with my attack bar, and someone hits me, bang, I hit that number 5. I then weapon swap, bang, I hit the Harness Magicka again. And if I need some healing, I'll pop the Healing Ward. However, it's Healing Ward's kind of my last resort. Now the reason why it's last resort is because it heals you more and gives you a greater damage shield the lower your health is. Okay, so the idea is if they get through this, I then pop this. If they get through this shield, I then go to this one, and hopefully I'll end up with full health again. So that's the cycle that I put in. Last one is the Energy Overload, and pretty self-explanatory. If I hit the Energy Overload button, okay, which gives me the 3rd bar, all of a sudden I have all these other options, which make me, I would say, pretty versatile compared to any other race, which makes the Sorc pretty cool. So, for example, at the moment I'm running Mystic Orb. So the other good thing about this bar as well is I can level skills. Okay, so what happens is when I'm in PvP, I do a quest. Okay, what I do is I really quickly flick across to my Energy Overload ultimate, and then I have some skills on here which I can level. Okay, so this one here I'm currently leveling, which is an Undaunted one. It's Mystic Orb. You might have seen a few of my blue balls floating around out there. So I don't know how effective this one is actually. Maybe it's a bit more better for like maybe some big Zerg combinations. But anyway, what I'll do is I'll throw down the Caltrops. Alright, the first thing I'll do is throw down Caltrops, and I actually use this even even if I'm going to start attacking, I'll throw Caltrops down. I'll throw a few balls in there. The retreating maneuver, I use it for obviously when I'm on a horse, that type of thing, to get around and to help other people get around pretty quick, and also when we're going into keeps. ball of lightning, obviously, to get myself out of trouble if I need to. And then we've got the echoing vigor, which is a heal, and to heal other people, nearby allies and that. So so that's this one is one that I've just leveled up as well. So I actually have a healing. This is really good for healers. I had it on here just to level it. I might actually take it off at some stage and put maybe another shield on there, or maybe try leveling up some more Alliance War skills just to see how they go, so they're all leveled. But as you can see, I'm halfway through leveling Mystic Orb, and that one will finish. I'll take that off and put it on here. Normally I would swap Mystic Ward out for something like Daedric Mines, which is this one here. Okay, so what I can do is flick across to my Overload. I can throw down Razor Caltrops, I can throw down Daedric Minefield. Let's say I'm camping you know, a door or something where people where the enemy's riding through while we're attacking a keep. To stop their reinforcements, I'll pop those down, and then when I want to attack them, I'll flick out of the Overload, and I'll just start DPSing them with my Frags, Curse, and Mage's Wrath combination. If we go ahead and have a look, here's my stats. So people ask me all the time. I just set myself to Volunteer, which is the really the beginning. I do that because people actually look at this stuff and they decide whether they want to take you on. I actually never look at it. I judge every person as that they're going to be as difficult to kill as possible. So I don't even look at, you know, their bar or anything like that. I just try and cap them basically, and expect them to be difficult. Sometimes I get a bit tired and lazy, but normally I just want to kill them and make sure they don't get me. My Magicka, I've got 58. I'm a high off Sorcerer Magicka. I got 58 health. I've got 4. I could actually probably take this 4 out. What I did try to do is make sure I had around 22,000 health when I'm in PvP, something like that, I think. These stats all kind of confuse me anyway. So, but what I found is actually after getting all my armor set and everything sorted out, I probably didn't actually need to do this. I could have probably just put the extra points into Magicka anyway. But anyway, I did it. So first of all, I set these points out so I had enough to survive both in PvE and in PvP. And then once I had enough health, I then just dumped the rest in Magicka, and that's probably a good policy as well. Even if you're a stamina, you can pump, you know, build your health to where you won't die, either in PvP or in PvE. And then if you're a stamina, pump the rest into stamina. If you're Magicka, pump the rest into Magicka, and off you go. So these are my Magicka points. I'm not in PvP at the moment, so they look a bit dismal, especially the health one. Magicka recovery, health recovery. I haven't worried too much about these stats actually, nor have I worried about spell damage, spell critical, spell resistance, or any of these. You can see my physical resistance is pretty good for a Sorc. You know, so that's why when I get these dirty Nightblades trying to gank me, I can literally stand up and I can tank a lot of damage. So the idea with my build is survivability. If we have a look at the active effects, we've got Werewolf. So my combat stamina for regeneration is increased by 15% when I'm in Werewolf form. The Mundus Stone that I've got is the Mage. Now the Mage increases the max Magicka, which is this stat here. I was actually running before with the different one, the other Mundus Stone that increases your stamina as well, your max stamina. So what I wanted to try and do was get these stats kind of a bit more even if I could. And what I actually found that running more stamina, max stamina, actually worked quite well, which brought my max stamina up. I can't remember how much it was. Actually, might tell me here how much it is. I think it's about another 1,200. So it would bring your stamina up another 1,200, which is pretty good. But however, I thought, well, I tried the Mundus Stone for crit damage. I wasn't really impressed with it. Like, if I'm going to do damage, I need to get my combos done, and I've got my survivability down. If I can get the combos done, I can kill people. It's as simple as that. So I decided just to put everything in my resources, because if you don't have resources, you'll just die. And that's pretty much it. I hope that's helpful for some people. I might really quickly go over the champion points. Okay, champion points. Champion points. So I looked at these third and fourth trait, right? So plentiful harvest grants you 10% chance to double the yield from a normal resource node. Okay, probably don't really need that. But if we have a look at the next one here, grants 2 ultimate anytime an active synergy is used. So if you pump your synergies, you'll get ultimate. If you look at these other stats, they're probably, increase inspiration gains. I don't need that. Ensnare grants 33% to reduce enemies' movement speed. Doesn't really work for me, so I didn't bother with that. The 2 stats I looked at below the lover was increase your health regeneration by 8.1%, and this one here increases your magicka recovery. Okay, so those are the ones that I needed for my Sorc. This one here was vengeance, guarantees your next spell will critical hit after you block 3 spells. Alright, so I've got to start blocking a bit more. And if we look at this one here, increases your spell critical rating by 12. Okay, so those are the 2 that I decided I needed, and to get those up, I've put points in spell erosion, which increases the amount of spell resistance to your spells ignore by, so I'm going to hurt people more when I hit them. And this one here increases your flame and frost and shock damage by 8.9%. Alright. Then it was this one here, reduces flame, frost and shock, and reduces poison, disease and magic. I thought they were both pretty good. And resilient restores health when hit by a critical attack, and restores 3/6 magicka when you take flame, frost or shock damage. Okay, so that's what I've gone for, guys. I hope this was helpful.